Your revenues will depend on whether or not you adopt A or B budget form, one with a tax increase, one without. My concern is this deficit that the district has. Anywhere from 6 to 9 million. 6 of it seems pretty solid. It could go as high as 9 million if certain contingencies happen with your health insurance and so forth. So how can the district continue with this deficit spending and rely on a fund balance that is slowly being depleted? And what happens when that fund balance is depleted? Well, you all know. It's not called bankruptcy. School districts go into what's called a receivership. The state appoints a receiver. They come in and dictate what's going to happen to your school district to make your expenditures meet your revenues and to start building that fund balance. I know last meeting, I read in the paper, Dave, U.S. Camilla, how far away are we from that? And I think you said about 7 years. If this $9 million deficit kicks in, it's going to be more like 5 years. Think about it. What would Altoona School District look like if you had to take $9 million out of the budget? How many staff positions would need to be cut? Woodland Hills next year is looking at cutting 70 staff positions and raising taxes. The receiver will tell you what you need to cut. The board will set the tax rates. So what's going to happen in Altoona? Immediately, I feel this board needs to direct the administration to come up with a plan. The plan needs to address how this budget deficit will be eliminated. If mathematical calculations tell you it's 5 years, it's a 4-year plan. If it tells you it's 6 years, it's a 5-year plan. So in that amount of time, how will this deficit be eliminated? And how will money start being put once again into budgetary reserves to pay for the many things that are going to be needed in this district? The integrity of our educational program is going to deteriorate if you sit back and just roll the can down the road. You need to be proactive. Do something about it now. This budget's going to be acted on tonight for next school year. Starting July 1, the following school year budget should be addressed. Every line item should be addressed. Is it critical to the operation? Is it going to be, and you'll have to set the priorities as to what is critical. And you're going to need to discuss as a board what items need to be cut, how you can increase revenues if possible. You can only increase your real estate tax, which right now generates about $19 million. A mill of taxes gets you about 3.2. Your real estate taxes are deteriorating due to not reassessments, but appeals to assessment. So each year that value of the mill is going to go down a little bit. You can't tax your way out of this deficit. So I'm saying here tonight, get a plan in place, be proactive, save the Altoona School District. Thank you.
Okay, what I forgot to mention is please state your name, your full address, and you have 5 minutes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Robin Moore. My address is 26 25th Avenue, 16601 Altoona. I am Kyle Stevenson's mom. For those of you who do not know him, he's the student who graduated yesterday and was told he could not wear his military sash. I commend you for the news interview today that moving forward, students will be allowed to wear that. However, that happening yesterday was unacceptable. It ruined my son's graduation. I ask that I be allowed to pass these around for you guys to see. The first is a picture my son drew in 1st grade, where he said, when I grow up, I want to be a soldier and fight for our country. And here he stands, leaving July 9th to go to Fort Benning, Georgia, because he enlisted in the Army as an infantry soldier. I was so hurt, I cried. My son wanted to walk out yesterday, but he stayed. He stayed for me, he stayed for his dad, he stayed for his grandma, so that we could hear his name be called for graduation. And it was not only him, From what I'm told, there are 3 students that graduated this year that are entering the military field. 1 student who is going to West Point. That is an amazing thing. As you know, very few people are selected to do. I contacted Tyrone School District, I contacted Hollidaysburg School District, Bellwood School District, and Central. They all not only encourage their military students to wear their sashes, but they also announce the students' names at graduation and what branch of service they're going to. And everyone stood up at their graduations and congratulated them. Again, I do thank you for making the change coming forward, but I honestly feel like my son deserves an apology, especially from Mr. Buffalini, who physically removed the sash from my son and also threatened to have the police escort him out if he wore the sash. That is unacceptable, unacceptable. Yeah.
I would like to personally apologize. That should not have happened. I have 2 sons that served in the military, and that would have been devastating for me as well. And my son was at Fort Benning, so that's a good base to be at. But I am very sorry that this happened to you and to your son. Thank you.
I'll add to that. Most of us up here actually have people connected to the military. And we have a situation where there are a lot of older policies, older, whatever the administrative AR is, in place that need reviewed. I mean, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of pages. So whenever we have our policy committees, we go through and we can do a little bit at a time. But of course, we certainly apologize, and I hope that your son has the experience he's looking for.
I'm sure he will.
Ma'am, thanks for coming up and doing that. My dad stormed the beaches in North Beach. I shudder to think what he would have done last night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
If I may, I apologize for that happening. As soon as I became aware of it, that procedure or that expectation was removed. Anywhere I've been, there have always been allowed to be recognized that way. I was unaware that we weren't. It was rectified immediately.
And he was given the sash by his recruiter to wear at graduation because, again, every school in the district allows it except for Altoona.
Go ahead, man.
My name is Debbie Paul. I live in Altoona, PA. I just want to say there's a lot of negative out there. I would like to put a positive shout out to our Altoona Area School District officers. They took up a lot of abuse last night for graduation from the public, which wasn't right or fair. They were doing their job for the safety of our students, family members, and staff. They stayed very calm where they were being screamed at, cursed at, and even threatened. They have a thankless job, so instead of yelling and swearing at them, what about a thank you? Not only for just last night, but for every day. Say thank you to the Director, Bill Pepper, and Altoona Area School District police officers for keeping the entire school district safe every day with your children and grandchildren. Their safety is first and foremost important to our officers. They put in countless hours by coming in early, they leave late, all for the safety of our school district students. I am proud to be the Secretary of Altoona School District Police Services, and I want to give Director Bill Pepper and all of our officers a thank you for all that they do. I would also like to congratulate and send best wishes to Officer Bob Johnston. He is retiring this year and he'll be missed greatly.
Make sure you do your full address, please. Thanks.
You guys were waiting for this, I'm sure. My name's David Carls. I'm a veteran. I live at 1118 15th Avenue, Altoona, PA 16601. Okay. I am one of the fathers that was denied access last time. I had my ticket, look forward to giving to my student. Me and my significant other were there. And one got told we couldn't come in to the field house. It's my firstborn. I have served overseas in Iraq. I came back alive. Thank God. I Oh my God. I mean, honestly, I didn't flip out last night, I acted with respect. I spoke to the officers, denied, I walked away. Figured I'd come talk to you all today. My only question, if these tickets are given out according to seating, how can parents be denied being live with their student during graduation? It's a milestone event. It's a crystal clear that a parent wants to be there. I understand the ex-Myra people last night. I can't blame them. I really cannot blame them. Am I gonna act chaotic? No. Or chaotic with them? No, absolutely not. Because it's called respect, and I understand what you guys go through. I get it. I'm not there every day with the public. I work in a field that I'm in your homes, and in many of your homes, actually. Okay? So I get it. But why? Why was this an issue? It should have been crystal clear. Here's your ticket, here's your seat. Every benefit you ever go to, whether it be band, you know how much I spend in band? My daughter's in your band. How much I spend on that, how much I spend in every event that we could possibly go to. But I can't get a seat to sit with my daughter, my oldest daughter, during graduation. She's on student council, and you know, not just me, any parent out there. Any one of them should have that right to stand with their daughter, with their son, stepson, step up, I don't care who it is, their family. I get grandma, cousins, I get that. But a father, a mother, I am so disappointed. And trust me, I went to this school 22 years ago, I graduated in academics. I followed my military leadership, and I came back. I came back to my hometown to be slapped in the face last night. I'm ready to move my kids. I own my house, and I'm ready to let it go. Please just tell me why, that's all I'm asking. Thank you.
I regret that we turned approximately 40 to 50 people away last night. Our intention was that all parents, we were going to find them a seat. I do not know where the miscommunication came from, and I apologize. Quite simply, we had 2,200 tickets printed up. We have 2,280 seats. By the time 6 o'clock rolled around, it was elbow packed. We were trying to get people in. We were trying to guarantee that people could get in. Quite frankly, I had talked to Officer Pfeffer, and he had specifically told parents, you know, mothers and fathers, we're going to get you in. We can't get extras in because we were just out of seats. In hindsight, there's different things we could have done, but at the time, it just wasn't there. And I apologize for that. In the future, we're going to do what we need to do to ensure that we don't have this problem again.
I have another kid graduating next 2 years, 2 more kids. Am I gonna face this next 2 years?
Not if I can do anything about it.
I stood there with whoever took us over to the auditorium, told him I was the father of the daughter, and I got walked to the auditorium. It's exactly what happened. So I don't know who you told, because you weren't telling us.
Well, I apologize for that, but
I understand.
I mean,
Just let me know if you're aware.
I was in the middle of just trying to get the event to work.
Right, and I understand it, and it graduated successfully. Thank you for that, thank you. And in all respect to the school board, and all respect to the officers out here, I understand. Okay? But when I'm simply escorted to the auditorium to watch a screen, I might as well watch on YouTube. That's what's the difference. I'm not there.
And I understand that, and I am sorry, I regret the issue,
I never have
but we are going to solve the issues so that we do not have that problem happening again. I mean, I can't guarantee there isn't going to be an issue, but we're going to do our best to make sure there isn't.
And there may be, but at least mothers and fathers, at least then issue 2 tickets, right down in hand for the student, you know, if it has to be that way. You know?
I agree.
Sir,
That is
happens
correct.
again, in my seat.
Just time back.
Promise.
Getting too low. That's-
It's mother and
On
book
the
too.
tickets, why don't you have them put mother and father on the tickets themselves? So that as people come in, you know whether they're mother or father, you can direct them right.
I don't know, we have to look at all those different options. I'm just being honest with you, we're doing what we need to do to resolve it and solve it moving forward. Appreciate it.
That's an idea, you can color code them or something like that. I agree, in the situation where you have 2,200 seats, well, 2,280 something seats, there shouldn't have been any problem with people fitting in there. So I don't, I'm not sure where the hiccup was, but I apologize too. apologies are on the table.
Just get a better venue.
Well, you would remember, because I believe you graduated around this time, that people were getting carried out of the Jaffa Mosque because of heat exhaustion, so.
We're gonna have air conditioning next year.
Right, so, I mean, maybe that's a possibility. People had thrown out the convention center, but the problem with the convention center is it's flat. So whichever floor that you're on, you're not gonna be able to see your students. And the other options that were thrown out there were the idea of rain dates. So you can have a rain date, it doesn't work one day, it goes to the next day. So we're definitely talking about this, and hopefully the fact that I'm just throwing this at you off the cuff is proof that we're talking about this, and that we can work towards getting a better solution together.
Years ago, when we had rain out in the gym, you were right, two tickets per kid, and we had larger classes. All right, and there was no problem. We blew it, made a mistake. We haven't really talked about it as a board, we're going to. But like the doctor said, what's done is done. We're sorry, you apologize. I'd be a little more upset than what you were.
Oh, it took a while to come in.
And I do want to say, I'm personally saying I'm sorry as well, and I really appreciate the way you handled yourself, not just last night, but tonight. I mean, it's the kind of discourse we need to have. It's positive, trying to move forward, and thank you for that.
I've got with future kids, I mean, honestly, there's 2 more even younger than that, so I'm gonna see it for a while. I'd like to stay in this community, born and raised, but that was very discouraging.
Can I put this out, and I don't know if anybody else heard this, but I got several people telling me that other people had made counterfeit ones. Because I don't know how in-depth these invitations were.
Well, they're very detailed, there's even a reflective piece on it.
Okay, I heard people were making counterfeit ones and showing them. And I don't know if there's any truth to that. But are these that intricate that people can't just photocopy them or anything? Just a question. Did anyone else hear that?
I heard that too.
That's,
I mean, I don't know.
well, I got a couple people IMing me telling me that they knew people had fraudulent ones that they were presenting. But you're right, that
Rumors are one thing, that's why I didn't bring them up, but I mean, I've heard everything. I mean, people came to me once I said my piece, and I don't say my piece often. When I have something to say, it's usually straight to the point. So I don't buy into rumors, I don't care what it is. All I care about is seeing my daughter, and anything else is just talk. I hope to see results, and if I gotta keep coming, then so be it, I will.
I actually appreciate the idea that you just said about rumors, because I just heard somebody passing a rumor today that they weren't checking tickets, when ironically, whenever Mr. Segler and I came downstairs, we were asked for tickets until they realized who we were. So we were at least checking for tickets. But I will throw this out there. We have a lot of policies that are in place right now. And so if those need addressed, like if you know of one now, don't be afraid to talk to our administration now. That way we don't get to the day where some important event's happening and we have to deal with that.
Well, then you can't depend on outdoors. You just scrap the idea of having it outdoors, because you gotta have it indoors, because you don't know what the weather's gonna be like. It can blow up a storm instantly. So you gotta scrap the idea of having it mansion park. I mean, it's a nice place to have it, but.
But there are other options to look at. Mansion Park, you can have everybody all in one place. It's outside. It's a lot more relaxing than it is inside whenever you're dealing with.
And you have the option of aunts, uncles, grandparents,
And if it's outside, that's all right.
It works, it's perfect.
Sisters.
The problem is what?
But when you're inside, you can break down to, this ticket's for the mom, this ticket's for the father, these people birthed this child and want to be here. Now, if they don't have a father, then they can substitute for a father, whoever they feel be fit for that ticket. Okay? Have the arguments within the family. Well, I want to go, well, stop. Don't have the arguments outside of the school. If you're set on going, you're going.
Gotcha, we will definitely work on it.
We need to have a better contingency plan that's gonna work for everybody so that we don't have people excluded. And I would be as upset as you are, probably more so, had I not been able to go and see my son or daughter walking graduation.
I'm not one to shed tears, but last night, I broke my heart.
I apologize. We have to do that.
You know, someone mentioned the Jennifer Mosque. Let's get a cost, see how much it costs. If we're gonna have air conditioning, that's great next year. They got the parking, they got the bathrooms, everybody has a nice seat. Might be something to look into, we got nothing to lose and something to gain.
Well, you should settle it tonight.
But the parking's right there.
Yeah, everything's there.
If I may, we are doing our due diligence to solve the issue. And we are looking at the Jaffa, and we are looking at the rain dates and creating a better contingency. We had a very serious conversation this morning to deal with the issues and to get to the bottom of what went sideways last night. Okay? It will be taken care of.